it will help you if you train your mind to start spotting evidence as you're doing the work, as you're going through your day. It will help you if you train your mind to start scanning the world and spotting evidence that, yes, indeed, the world is sending you positive signals that things are going to work out. Now, why is it important to train your mind to help you get what you want? Well, the reason why is because if you get into a negative mindset, if you start thinking, shit, this business is never going to work, why even bother? Or I'm never going to meet anybody. It's nothing but losers out there. Look at all these idiots on Hinge. Why the hell should I keep doing this? If you allow your mind to start to rest in a pessimistic, negative, protective, scared, and doubtful stance, your mind will continue to show you reasons why there's nobody on Hinge worth talking to. Your mind will continue to show you all the reasons why you will never make it in business. Your mind will continue to show you all the reasons why you're never going to lose that weight and be able to tuck in your shirt, as my friend Corinne Crabtree always talks about, that transformational moment. And when your mind goes negative, your mind starts to scan the world and will show you more reasons to stop. And the power of training your mind to spot positive signs is very simple. The power is that your mind will start to show you reasons to keep going. Your mind will help you take the step. Your mind will encourage you to feel optimistic, to feel empowered. Just like you woke up today on a Tuesday and it was February 22nd, 2022, and those numbers are lining up, and that makes you in your heart and soul go, whoa, something cool could happen today. Like, that shit only happens like once in my lifetime. Those numbers are going to line up like that. Today is a really cool day. Let's go do something with this. You could create that kind of attitude every single freaking day of your life. You could, if you train your mind and if you start taking action. And training your mind is the key piece that we're going to talk about. So for those of you that have read The High Five Habit, one of the things that I talk about a lot is every single day find a naturally occurring heart-shaped object in the world. It could be a stone, it could be a leaf, it could be a cloud, it could be a shape in your coffee. Hey Chris, if we've got anything around here that looks like a heart, hand it to me. And the reason why I love telling you to start playing a game with yourself where you start your day going, mind, brain, show me some heart. Oh, what is this? Come here.
Dog treat.
Oh my God, it's a dog treat. Look at this, guys. What shape is that, bitches? That right there is a heart, bitches. There we go. Check that out. If you say, brain, mind, show me a fucking heart today, guess what's going to happen? That damn dog biscuit, you're going to be like, there's a heart. You're going to look out at the sky and you're going to see a heart shape. Oh, right there in the mountains. There's a heart shape in the mountains in southern Vermont. You're going to see it in the clouds. What you're doing when you tell your mind what's important to you is you're telling your mind and the filter in your brain to change in real time and allow into your consciousness what's important to you. And if you want to see hearts, by God, those damn dog treats are going to start looking like hearts, everybody. That's how you train your mind. It's freaking incredible. And if you want to see evidence of this, follow me on social media. If you follow me, Mel Robbins, on social media, you will see every day I am reposting your stories of finding heart shapes around the world. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because it's a simple way to prove to you that your mind changes in real time. That if you get serious about becoming more positive and optimistic and encouraging of yourself, if you get serious about saying, fuck this, I don't want to see all the reasons why I'm unhappy. I don't want to see everybody else in the world that's launched a business or that's lost weight and is healthy or that has a really good marriage or relationship. And I don't want to see that shit and have my mind process it as evidence that it's never going to happen for me. I want my mind to reprogram itself and see other people's businesses and see other people getting healthy and see other people in relationships. And I want my mind to say, fucking yeah, if they can do it, I can do it. That's evidence. If that person can get healthy, so can I. If that person can find somebody on Hinge, so can I. If that person can reconcile with their child, so can I. Other people can become evidence that you can have it too. Right now, your mind is so fucked up from your past that when you see what other people have and you don't have it, you can't actually translate it through a negative mind and see that that's evidence that you're going to win. You see it like, oh, somebody already stole what I wanted. That sucks. And so what I want to start to open your mind to is that you have the power to train your mind to filter the world differently. Just like you woke up and you saw the date today, 2/22/22, and your brain saw that and was like, whoa, this is a once in a lifetime day, everybody. You are never going to have another day that lines up like this. Ever. What are you going to do with this day? Your mind already interpreted this as, wow, something cool could happen. And if you tell yourself something amazing is going to happen today, something will, because you're going to be looking for it. I swear to God, something will. Something will. If you want to see the good all around you, you got to tell your mind you want to see the good. And this just isn't a bunch of horse shit, everybody. This isn't toxic positivity. There is a filter in your brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system. I call it the RAS. I like to think about it like a giant hairnet on your head. And this RAS sits over your brain. I'm probably getting this wrong. I'm not a neuroscientist. I could give a shit about getting it right. I just need you to know the basics here so that you can apply it to your life, okay? You don't need a PhD to use the science that super smart people have been working really hard on in order to apply it to your life. That's what I'm here for in your life. I'm here to translate this stuff into simple, believable, and actionable things that you can do to take all this super cool stuff that people are researching and apply it to your normal person's everyday life to help you change from the inside out. And one of the coolest things that you have at your disposal is you have a whole system in your body that you can train and change. And one of those things that you can train and change that is impacted by that word you're hearing a lot of, neuroplasticity, that just means that things are able to twist and bend and change and you're able to learn new things for as long as you're alive. As long as you're breathing, everybody, you got a chance to change the way that you think. As long as you are breathing, you got a chance to change from the inside out how you experience your life. As long as you are still here watching me, people, you got a chance to create a new experience in your life. And one of the things that helps a lot is understanding that right now, all of the bullshit from your past has jammed the filter in your mind, body, and spirit, the reticular activating system. And it is clouding your ability to look at the world around you and see hearts. Remember this? Dog treat, hearts, bitches. Look at that. There's a heart right there. I'm going to ask you, I want you to find a heart today and I want you to tag me at Mel Robbins when you do. Okay? Tag me. Whoa, we got somebody whose birthday is today. Damn, you better declare something amazing on 2/22/22. That's freaking awesome. Fabulous for you. So here's the thing. Your past has completely fucked up the reticular activity system. The reason why you doubt yourself, the reason why you think nothing works out for you, the reason why you're seeking validation from everybody else is because your life trained you to do that. And I'm here to tell you, you can wake the hell up and you can realize that from this moment forward, you have the ability, using simple and believable tools, to reclaim your mind, body, and spirit, to retrain it, and to use it to help you feel the way that you want to feel, to experience life the way that you want to experience life, and to build a sense of momentum as you go through your day and you start to see all kinds of stuff around you as evidence that you can have it too. I'll give you a simple example. So as many of you know, for a very long time, I've always wanted to launch a podcast. I got my start in the media business back in 2007 by having a local radio show in Boston, Massachusetts on a talk radio station on Saturday mornings. That's what I did. I made $25 an hour. I hosted a show for 2 hours, a live call-in show where we talked about what was going on in the world. It was an advice show. I absolutely loved it. And from there, that show grew. It then became a Sunday night show in Atlanta, and then I got a 5-day-a-week show in Orlando. So you're looking at a woman who got her start in the media business doing local radio. I paid for our kids' braces by reading Invisalign ads for the local dentist. So I have been in sort of the radio or podcast business since 2007, since before podcasts. And then my life took detours like it did. I have not been in radio since, 2011, maybe? So long time, 10 years. And I've been thinking about launching a podcast for 5 years, everybody. 5 years. And every time I would think about it, my mind would look around, and my mind, my reticular activity system, the filter in my brain, was clogged with all kinds of crap. And when I looked around and I saw all these people launching podcasts, that fact of seeing it would filter through my mind, and my mind would say, there's no room for you. You're too late. You're not going to be as good as those other people. So my mind was looking at the outside world and the fact that everybody and their mother was launching a podcast 5 years ago, and they still are today. And it would pass through the filter in my brain, and my brain would say to me, Mel, you're fucked. You might as well just stop thinking about it because you're too late, woman. How many of you do that to yourself? That you see other people having what you want, and the way that fact that somebody else has gotten healthy, or somebody else has made $1 million, or somebody else has launched a business online, or somebody else has found somebody after divorce and is happier than ever, and you see that and you immediately assume, I'm fucked. Like, it's never going to happen for me. Instead of having your brain go, whoa, look at that. Look at all these people out there doing this. If they can do it, you can do it too, Mel. Look at that. You got all these people that can give you advice. You got all these people that are lights on the path that you want to walk down. How cool is that? You got all kinds of information, all kinds of help, all kinds of evidence that's positive. Well, the reason why my mind didn't see it as positive is the same reason why your mind does not see everybody else's business and everybody else's health journey and everybody else's bank account and everybody else's fancy vacations, or when you walk into a bar and all your girlfriends get hit on instead of you. Your mind does not see all of that as evidence that it's going to eventually work out for you, because your mind is clogged with all kinds of crap from your past. And I'm here to tell you, when you wake up and realize that you could train your brain to wake up every day and go, holy shit, today's going to be a magical day. Today is going to be that 2/22/22 day where you immediately see this. You know, this is the one day of your life where this is going to be the day. Come on in, Jesse. Jesse's here. Hey, YOLO! YOLO, come on in. You could literally train your mind to wake up every day and go, damn it, I'm going to see a heart today. And I'm going to see evidence today that shit's working out for me. And when my mind starts to see that this is going to work out for me, I'm going to feel more empowered, I'm going to feel more inspired, and I'm going to keep going. Because the bottom line is, everybody, your positive mindset helps you with momentum, repetition, and discipline. Your positive mindset helps you by encouraging you to take the action. Because as you know, because you hang out with me, Mel Robbins, thinking about changing your life is not going to change your fucking life. The only thing that changes your life is action. You want something different, you got to do something different. But a filter in your brain that filters the world in a positive way, in an encouraging way, a filter in your brain that acts more like that annoying friend. You know that annoying friend who's always trying to build you up? And I say annoying because when you're committed to being like, it's never working out for me, I'm never going to meet anybody, I'm never going to lose the weight. And your friend's like, oh, are you kidding? You know how amazing you are? You're like, fuck off. Don't tell me I'm amazing. I want to feel terrible. So when you start to change your brain when you start to really go to work on this filter, you're going to turn your own mind from a critic and somebody who's nasty into that friend that's really cheering you on. See, this is going to work out for you. See, you should keep going. See, this is really good for you to do. And that's why it's important. It's really hard to take action when you have a shitty mindset. It's really hard to find what's called the activation energy, the force to push yourself through the resistance and the fear, if you are committed to believing that it's not worth doing anyway. And so action is critical. Action is where the 5-second rule comes in. But if you want to supersize this and step on the accelerator, you must start to train your mind. And one way you can start to do this is to look for hearts every day. That's one chapter in the book we haven't read yet. See, this is a dog treat that was shaped like a heart. I asked Chris, he scanned the room. Boom, bitches, that's how this works. The other way that you can start to train your mind is to learn about the filter in your brain, to learn about the fact that this filter in your mind has the ability to change in real time what you see. Okay. Now, I'm going to start reading from the High Five Habit. This is, I don't even know what chapter, I don't know what chapter it is, doesn't matter. But we're on page 80. We're on page 80 in chapter 6, and we're reading about the RAS. How cool is that? So for those of you who want to know, it's right here. You're the boss of your RAS. Page 80. Yep, I know. Aren't these nails killer? I got them for Valentine's Day. I just love them. And you know what's interesting about these nails? Is that every time I see these nails, they just have little hearts. I don't know how to hold them there. And I see the hearts, it makes me smile. I really love these because they're sort of a visual reminder of positivity and love. And when you start to get serious about changing your mindset and clearing out the crap that's in the filter of your mind called the RAS, you open up more room to see more of this kind of stuff. Hearts and positive signs and connections and coincidences. And you're going to start to manufacture and build the belief that yes, indeed, life is going to work out for you. It always works out for people who push through the bullshit and every day wake up and push themselves forward and keep taking the step forward and keep taking action. It always works out. All right, page 80. You're the boss of your RAS. Now, I'm sure you've had the experience of being broken up with, and for days, weeks, or even months, all you can do is see things that remind you of your ex. Oh my God, we've all had that, right? You know, when you like break up with somebody or they dump you, and then you just see their stuff everywhere. You see reminders of them everywhere. Oh, there's that cafe we had our first date. Oh, it's her favorite song on the radio. You listen to sad songs on repeat, you mope around, you stalk your ex online, all of which, by the way, when you take those actions, it tells your RAS that your ex is still important. Even though you haven't seen your ex in weeks or months, the reminders seem like they are everywhere. And then, have you ever noticed, suddenly you meet somebody new? And it's like that RAS, it kicks your ex right out of your brain. And the new lover, they move right to the front of the line. Next thing you know, all you see when you're in love, what do you see? You see exactly what your emotional state is. You see all these other people who are in love. You hear all these love songs. It seems like everybody in the world is just as happy as you. Now, you know what happened? Your RAS, the filter in your mind, did that. And you know what you don't see anymore? You never see any signs of your ex. Because the filter in your mind realized that your new lover is way more important than your ex. So it literally pulled the ex out of your brain. Your new lover floods right in. And the way that you filter and see and experience the world changes. That's why this filter in your brain is so important. When what's important to you changes, the way you see the world and the way you see yourself changes too. Your RAS filters out all the old shit and all the crappy feelings related to your ex and opens the door for things related to your new love. And guess what? Your RAS is going to do the exact same thing when you decide you know what? It's time for me to stop beating myself up. The stories you tell yourself about yourself are so crucial, because if you keep repeating a story that I'm a failure, I'm a bad person, or if you keep picking apart your appearance or your bank account or your art, guess what? Your filter's paying attention. And your filter is going to believe that it's important to you to only show you more reasons why you're a failure or why you're a bad person. You need to flip it, because the flip side of this is true too. If you change the story you tell yourself, if you go from saying, I've fucked up my life, to I'm a work in progress and every day I get a little bit better. The more that you repeat, I'm a work in progress and every day I keep getting a little bit better. The more you repeat that, everybody, the faster this filter in your mind is going to change, and it's going to start to go, oh, look at you. You just held the door open for that person walking. You're a good person. Oh, look at you. You sat down on the floor and you exercised for 10 minutes to a online tape. You're a good person. Every day you're doing this. So I'm going to give you a different way to look at life. If you are willing to try it along with the High Five Challenge, you will see real and exciting changes in your life. So let's get started. So I'm going to teach you how to flip a limiting belief into a really positive one. You ready, everybody? So how many of you tell yourself that I screw everything up? This was mine. I screw everything up. Mel Robbins, you screw everything up. How many of you go, I'm a failure? I'm a failure, right? That you constantly are like, I'm a failure. That's me. Just put it right here on my chest. That's my title. I'm a failure. Well, I want you to flip it to, I forgive myself for everything that I screwed up when I was just trying to survive. And every single day, I'm working hard to become a better version of myself. There you go. There you go. Because here's the truth, everybody. When you believe you make everything in your life a disaster, you are believing the wrong things. When you say, I ruin everything, you basically are saying you're so powerful that you constantly only create one outcome. I mean, think about that. When you constantly say, I screw everything up, you're basically saying, I'm so powerful that I only ever screw things up. That's how powerful you are. And that the outcome's always bad. That you're so influential in your negativity that it's always bad. That you're such a force of negativity that when you get near something good, it turns into a disaster. Well, this is actually a really good thing. Just stay with me for a minute. Because here's the thing, you are powerful, totally powerful. And the problem is that you see evidence of your power everywhere, but you only see it in the messes that you've made in your life. Now, you wouldn't be able to create a colossal track record of messes if you were powerless, right? I mean, like, think about this. If all you ever do is screw things up, if all your ever mind sees is that you've screwed things up, you know, looking back, this used to be me. I can count all the problems. We don't have time for all of them, but I created in my life. I mean, should we start with law school? How about the 2 jobs that I quit in a panic attack? The 2 boyfriends that I cheated on? How about hitting rock bottom in my 40s? How about blaming Chris for all our problems? Like, all I saw for a long time when I look backward were piles of crap everywhere that I managed to step in like a giant pile of dog shit in the yard. Now, I want you to look at the messes that you've made. If you can create such a huge pile of crap in your life, here's another truth, everybody. You also have the power to create something really amazing when you put your mind and energy to it. If you can create piles of garbage, you can create piles of glitter. You really can. See, amazing outcomes can materialize just as easily as the shitty ones do, everybody. But it all has to do with what you believe you're capable of and how that belief focuses your time and energy in a particular direction. If you're focused on how you always screw things up and you always fail, we've got to flip that on its head. If you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh, then you get a life that feels like, ugh. So when you start your day by adding a high five in the mirror to your morning routine as a new habit, what the high five says is, hey, I forgive you, and today's going to be a good day. It says, I see you. Yes, you are working hard. Yes, you are trying to do better. And here's what's super cool. When you send yourself into the day by adding a high five to your morning routine, to yourself in the mirror, what happens is you see a new world outside that bathroom door. You may not like it, but you know that you're going to be intentional about how you step into that world today. And we talked a lot about that because I'm reading this on 2/22/22. You can't wake up today and go, oh, this is just another day in my life. When you wake up on February, Tuesday, there is another 2/22/22, you know that some crazy magical shit's going to go down today. Okay? 2/22/22, that's fucking awesome. You got the opportunity to create that kind of energy in your life every day. So right now you have the great skill and habit of looking at things a certain way, in a negative filter. But if you built that same kind of strong skill set and you looked at things the opposite way, imagine what would happen. Imagine if you swiped left instead of right. Instead of saying, shit, I dropped the ball again. What if you said, how can I fix this? How can I make this situation a little bit better for me? What is in my control? I screwed up is not your only option, by the way. Just think about that. When something terrible happens, saying I screwed up, that's not your only option, everyone. You can start saying something else. You know what? I can solve this problem. I can figure this out. This is preparing me for something. I believe that. I am exactly where I am supposed to be because there is something in this mess that I'm standing in that I'm supposed to learn and fix and, rise up and discover some strength about. And the cool thing about the filter in your brain, this RAS, is that training it to work for you, it's really actually quite easy. This mental flexibility is already inside you. You've already experienced the power of your RAS and you didn't even realize it. This is so cool. Let me show you what I mean. So, how many of you have ever shopped for a new car? Or you've gone with somebody that has shopped for a new car? Or you just are dreaming about a new car? Let's put it this way. Right now, what is the car that you would love to drive? Okay, describe it in the comments. What's the car you would love to drive? Okay, and be specific. Is it a red Mustang convertible? Is it a navy blue Audi A8? Is it the silver matte G-Wagon? For me, I love those old Defender kind of safari style Jeeps, not the new ones. I like the old ones, the ones that have the seats in the back that sit towards each other and fold down. I love those things. And so here's the thing. When you write it down, I see a baby blue Bentley, a navy blue BMW 6, a Tesla, a 1974, a G-Wagon, a white Honda, a black Range Rover. Now here's what's really cool. As y'all are getting really excited, your mind is paying attention. Guess what's going to happen today and tomorrow? Guess what's going to happen? What are you going to see when you walk out the door? Now that you have lit yourself up thinking about this G-Wagon or this Honda or this BMW or this ice blue Bentley, guess what you're going to see? You're going to see that fucking car you want. All of a sudden you'll be like, why is everybody driving a G-Wagon? Why are there Range Rovers all over the place? Why is there a lime green Mustang on the road? Believe it or not, everybody, that's not a coincidence. The reason why you suddenly see a car once you decide you want one is because the filter in your brain paid attention. It changed in real time. That's neuroplasticity. The filter in your brain just changed. And now your mind is letting in any image related to that thing that you want. Boom! That's how this works. Your mind is designed for mental flexibility. Now, all of you are like, holy shit, that's right, Mel. Well, guess what? If your mind will do that without you even thinking about it related to a car, if you get intentional about changing your mindset, if you get intentional about telling your brain, I want to see fucking signs that my life is working out. I want to see reasons to keep going on this goal. I want to see evidence that this is possible. And when you start to get serious, your brain, the mental flexibility, the neuroplasticity, it will flip in real time, everybody, and it will change for you. So I'm going to unpack this more using the analogy of shopping for a car. So let's say you're in the market for this new car and you've decided, I'm going to test drive an Acura. And you like it because you love the color red. And you don't know anybody that drives an Acura. Plus, you've just read that an Acura is a really reliable car. Now, I want you to stop and think. When's the last time you saw an Acura? Well, unless you own one or you work in an Acura dealership, you probably can't remember the last time you saw a red Acura. Now, the reason why you can't remember it is because seeing a red Acura wasn't that important to you. So your RAS, the filter in your brain, was blocking it out. Because your RAS knows this bitch doesn't care about a red Acura, so I'm not going to show it to her. I'm only going to let in the stuff that I think she cares about. Now, those red Acuras, they're out there. They're driving past you every day, but they're not important to you until you decide they're important to you. See, your brain can't consciously process every single make and model and color of every single car that is driving past you or parked on the side of the road. And the reason why your RAS lets some things in and some things out is because your RAS is trying to manage information overload. So it's really picky about what it lets into your conscious brain. Now, of course, you see all these cars. You're just not registering them in your conscious mind. They come and they go. They pass through the filter of your brain. But the second you start thinking about buying a red Acura, your RAS is so damn nimble, so flexible. It's like a little gymnast. This is neuroplasticity, baby. And it will change its own filtering system, boom, the second you decide it's important to you. Just thinking about buying the red Acura lights up that filter in your brain. Now, this network of neurons only gets stronger as you read about red Acuras. And when you test drive it, it gets even stronger. When you comparison shop, when you sign the paperwork, when you drive off the lot, when you post about it on Instagram, all those thoughts and actions are telling the filter in your brain, I love red Acuras, damn it. And then suddenly overnight, guess what? That's all you see. And you're like, shit, why did I buy a red Acura? I had no idea everybody owned a red Acura. Well, they were always there. It's just that now that it's important, your brain is trying to help you by showing you what it thinks is important to you. That's how it works. That is an example of mental flexibility, guys. That's an example of how your RAS is trying to help you by showing you what it thinks is important to you. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. If your red Acura, if your RAS rather, your filter in your brain thinks red Acuras are important, what's your brain going to show you? Red Acuras. If your filter in your brain thinks it's important to you to believe that you fuck everything up and that you're a failure or that you're stupid, what do you think the filter in your brain is going to show you? That's right. It's going to show you reasons why you failed. It's going to show you evidence to doubt yourself. It's going to show you evidence that you're a fuck up. See, it works in the positive and the negative. And this is why it's so important for you to understand that the stories that you tell yourself really matter. Because the stories that you tell yourself, that's what is truly programming the filter in your mind. And you're either telling yourself stories that keep the filter in your mind stuck in the past, or you're going to get freaking serious, everybody, about changing those stories and flipping how you talk to yourself into something positive, encouraging, so that the filter in your mind, the RAS, starts to be positive and encouraging in the way that it filters the world. Now, let me unpack this even further. If you repeat negative self-talk, your RAS believes it's important, just like the red Acura. And so your RAS starts to scan the environment for ways to affirm negative thoughts like, I look disgusting, I hate my body, why can't I be as pretty as everybody else? Your thoughts tell your RAS what's important. That's why you feel trapped in a world aimed against you. You need to retrain your RAS to get out of degrading yourself every single morning in the bathroom. The way that you talk to yourself when you look in the mirror in the morning and how you treat yourself, it matters. That's why this high five habit, which is simply adding a physical high five to yourself in the morning, to your morning routine. It is so important because visually, when you go to raise your hand and high five yourself, you're watching it. And that is sending messages to the filter in your brain. Oh, I like myself. Oh, I empower myself. Oh, I believe in myself. This is one way that we're clearing out the filter in your mind, and we are using mental flexibility and neuroplasticity to reprogram new thoughts and new behaviors. And I'm explaining this in detail because I need you to understand why high-fiving yourself in the mirror as part of your morning routine is a game changer. I know you're skeptical. That's why I'm explaining the science. Now, right now, you have a tendency to live in this really negative emotional place thanks to your past. The high five habit, adding a high five in the mirror to your morning routine, that's going to change that. It's going to help you restore yourself back to a more positive, optimistic mental and emotional state that you were designed for, a state that inspires you to take action. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot think your way to a new life. You must act your way there. And when you high five yourself every morning in the mirror, that is a consistent, simple, believable, proven, backed by science action that will help you make that change. When you change the way that you look at the world you're looking at changes. Yes, it is that simple. And let me repeat, I understand that your problems are big and overwhelming and real. I understand that high-fiving yourself in the mirror every single morning as a new habit to add to your morning routine, I understand that it doesn't change those problems that are big and overwhelming. But you know what it does? It changes you. It changes how you see yourself and what you're capable of achieving, how you see the world and what opportunities or solutions you can create. And it's how you push yourself forward, grounded in faith and belief that when you do, something amazing will happen. Just like you woke up on February 22nd, 22, and your brain saw these numbers and immediately thought something amazing could happen today. This is the only day where the numbers 2, 22, 22 are going to line up like this. You thought something positive. Just like that. Every single day, you have the ability to teach yourself how to wake up and ground yourself in faith and belief that something amazing is going to happen to you today. Every single day, your brain is going to start to get a new message about what's important to you in your future. And your brain will fall in line and begin to filter the world in a new way to help you get what you want. You see, seeing things differently is not going to make your problems disappear, but it will allow you to see different solutions, different opportunities, and different possibilities that you haven't seen before. Just like when I tell you, go today and find a heart. Here is a dog biscuit shaped like a heart. There it is, bitches. Train your mind to see something positive. Why is this important? Because when you start to see evidence that your mind is flexible and can see what you tell it to see, whether it's shapes or coincidences or positive evidence, everything starts to flip on its head because you've changed yourself from the inside out. So let me tell you what the brain hack is. We're going to read from chapter 7 today. For those of you that like to read along, we're on page 87 of the High Five Habit. I'm going to read this chapter to you and I'm going to teach it to you, okay? Today I'm going to teach you how to create, with a really simple hack, a more positive mind. And it has to do with this. What is this? Anybody know what this is? Anybody know what this is? This is a heart-shaped rock, okay? You want to see another one? Here's another one. A heart-shaped rock. Every single day, I have a simple hack. Every single day, when I wake up, I play this game. It's now a habit where I look for a heart shape somewhere in nature. It could be a heart-shaped rock. It could be a cloud. It could be a crystal. It could be a shape on a spot on a dog. It could be an oil stain on the floor of a garage. It could be anything. But I look for a heart shape as a way to train my mind. And I do it because I want to prove to you. And by the time we're done with today's teaching, chapter 7 is what I'm going to read to you today. I want you to promise me that you are going to look for a heart shape somewhere in nature today, wherever you are in the world. A puddle, perfect. Anything that you see out there right now, I can look out at the tree. The mountain kind of looks like a heart, I notice right there. That's pretty cool. I want you to look around today and I want you to see hearts. I want you to look for one. And here's why. There's a filter in your brain called the reticular activity system. Okay, I write about it extensively in the High Five Habit. Your whole life has programmed the filter in your brain. All of the negative experiences in your life has taught your brain to filter the world in a particular way. And what I'm here to tell you, and what I'm going to teach you today, is that once you understand your reticular activity system, it's like a filter on your brain that is alive. It's a network of neurons that's constantly shifting and changing and responding based on the information that you tell your brain is important to you. If you don't believe me, how many of you have ever wanted a new car? For me right now, I'm obsessed with the new Bronco. I want one of those 4-door color green Broncos. I know there's a year-long wait list. I know I need to get on it. I love the new Ford Bronco. Once I decided I love that new Ford Bronco, what do you guys think I saw everywhere? All the time, all over the road. I see Broncos everywhere. And the reason why is because your reticular activity system, which is a live filter on your brain, it responds in real time to whatever you say is important to it. And so just like me saying, oh my God, I love that new Bronco. I want a new Bronco. I got to buy a new Bronco. I got to get on the list for a new Bronco. I see Broncos freaking everywhere. Now, I'm not sure I want one because it seems like everybody has one. You know what I'm saying? I want you to play this game with me, where every day when you wake up, and you can start doing it today, I want you to look for a naturally occurring heart shape. And the second you see one, I want you to go, oh my God, there's a heart-shaped rock, just like Mel was talking. There's a heart-shaped leaf. There's a heart-shaped something. Holy shit, there it is. And the reason why I want you to do this is because when you notice it, holy cow, when you take a photo of it, your brain starts to go, whoa, you're really into hearts. And the filter in your brain changes in real time, and it allows in more heart shapes. The reason why I'm explaining this to you, and I want you to use this little hack, is because if I can prove to you that by simply telling your brain that you want to see more heart shapes in the world, if you experience your own brain changing the way it filters the world in real time, then you will believe what I'm going to say next, which is, if you want to change how you feel, if you want to change what you believe is possible, you must change how you talk to yourself, because your brain is filtering the world based on how you talk to yourself. And chapter 7 of the High Five Habit proves to you that this little hack of looking for hearts, everybody, every single day, naturally occurring hearts, and realizing that your own mind will change and is flexible in real time to change how it filters the world. When you realize the power of your mind, you will make it a priority to speak to yourself differently, to talk differently about what you want in life and how you think about yourself, because what you say matters, because your brain is paying attention. So chapter 7 is entitled, Why Am I Suddenly Seeing Hearts Everywhere? And so I'm going to skip around a little bit because I haven't read from this in a while. And basically, you jump into chapter 7, and it's a scene where I'm talking to our daughters at dinner. And our daughters are basically explaining that they hate their mindset. One of our daughters like, why do I always beat myself up and think I'm a bad person? And our other daughter's like, why do I always think I'm the ugliest one at the bar? And so I'm explaining to them, if you want to change this opinion that you have, that I'm a bad person or I'm the ugliest one of all my friends, I explained to them the Bronco example that I just gave you. And then I said to them that your brain can change the way you see the world in real time. This is so exciting, you guys. And if you say, I'm a bad person, how many of you say that to yourself? I'm such a bad person. I always screw up. Nothing works out for me. If you say, I'm a bad person, isn't it true that you see things every single day that make you think it's true. And then our daughter said, yeah, actually, yesterday I missed my dentist appointment. I just completely forgot about it. And as soon as I realized I blew off the dentist appointment, totally forgot, the first thing I said to myself was, there I go again, screwing everything up. And I said, look, that's an excellent example. Imagine if instead of missing the dentist appointment, imagine if when you miss the dentist appointment, how many of you have missed a dentist appointment? I know I have. How amazing would it be if you missed the dentist appointment and you could just shrug your shoulders and go, oops, forgot the dentist appointment, without going, see, I screw everything up, and pounding yourself into the ground and beating yourself up. Imagine if you could teach your own mind, everybody, to not see all the stuff that's happening in life as evidence that you're a bad person. Because you can forget a dentist appointment and just let it pass through your mind without attaching, I'm a bad person, to what happened. You have to be deliberate. You have to tell your mind exactly what you want to think about yourself when things mess up. So my daughter looks at me, this is a true story, and is like, really? How the hell do I do that, Mom? I've been telling myself I'm a bad person and I screw everything up for as long as I can remember. How the hell am I going to get my mind to think something else? And this is when I hit her with the heart rock game that I'm telling you, you got to steal this hack from me. I said, well, let's train your mind by playing a simple game that's going to change the way that your mind works in real time. And I said, every single day, I want you to look for a naturally occurring heart shape in the world, whether it's a heart-shaped rock, a heart-shaped leaf, a heart-shaped oil stain on the floor of your garage, a heart-shaped swirl of milk on the top of your latte, anything counts. And then my daughter said, you mean the way you're always looking for heart-shaped rocks when we walk on the beach, Mom? And I said, yep. And you know what she said to me? She said, Mom, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said, my other daughter then said, I agree. How the hell does looking for hearts stop me from feeling like the ugliest one of all my friends? I want you to teach me how to be happy and how to be successful and how to make a lot of money in my new career, Mom. I mean, you're a self-help person. How the hell do rocks on the ground help me change my opinion of myself? Fair question, right? Don't worry, I had a great answer. I said, look, the point of the exercise of every day, I want you to look for a heart shape, like a heart-shaped rock in the world. The point of this, everybody, is to train your mind to spot the things that you're blocking out so you can prove to yourself that you can make your brain work for you by simply telling you what's important to you. And if you want to make a lot of money, you better train your brain to see opportunities and deals that other people walk right by, just like you walk by that stupid rock on the ground that's laying there right now. And you miss it because you're not looking for it. And if you want to stop thinking you're bad or hating the way you look, you better train your mind to stop attaching that thought to everything you see. Pretty smart, right? If you'd like to make more money, you got to spot opportunities to make more money. If you want to feel better about yourself, everybody, you got to stop pounding yourself into the ground with negative thoughts anytime life doesn't go 100% your way or you screw up, which is totally normal. I could tell they were considering my argument. So I went even further. Besides, oh, there goes the clock. Hold on a second. And feel free to ask questions in the comments. This is a short chapter, okay? Besides, if I told you, everybody, to just repeat a positive mantra, I'm beautiful, I'm a good person, you'd think this is stupid because you don't believe that. So first, I got to show you the power that you have to change what your mind sees. Then you're going to trust what I'm saying. You see, good people mess up all the time. It doesn't make you a bad person. And even if you are a bad person at times, why does that make you unlovable? See, it's all about the way you flip the things you look at so that you can see a world that makes you feel empowered and supported. Imagine how much easier and fulfilling it would be if you could stop the beatdown and just love yourself while you work on your health goals. Now, let me tell you how to do the heart-shaped exercise. You guys ready? Okay, good. Starting tomorrow, super easy, or today, starting today. I want you to find one naturally occurring heart shape in the world around you. Then stop and take a look at it. Here's mine. Every day when I go for a walk, if you follow me on my stories, you will see that I take photos all day long of heart shapes. This is the kind of thing that trains your mind. I'm getting asked for a meditation on manifesting. Yeah. Looking for a heart shape every single day in the world around you is a way to manifest because you are practicing a skill. You're practicing a skill of waking up and intentionally saying, I am going to find a heart shape today. You are putting that intention into your mind. And by putting it into your mind, you are training your mind to work for you. Now we're going to take it a level up. You ready? When you find something, I want you to stop. I want you to take a moment. I want you to take a photo of it. Oops, my phone, my computer just died, so we're going to stay on Instagram. I want you to take a photo of it. And I want you to really feel that that was placed there for you. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to have an experience whereby you feel that literally the universe had put something there for you. And your mind helped you find it. And if you take that moment and you feel a moment of gratitude, what's going to happen is that energetic, positive experience of acknowledging that you told yourself you were going to find a heart shape. And then your mind scanned and you found it. And now you're taking a moment to feel grateful that this happened, to be present to the larger forces that are out there. And then take a photo, put it on your story, tag me, Mel Robbins, tag High Five Habit. And you will be shocked because what will happen is because you took a moment to positively encode it in your brain will start showing you hearts all over the place. You're not going to believe the amount of hearts that you walk past. I'm dead serious about this. These are just a few examples on page 91. I repost these all day long from you guys. There's a heart in a coffee cup. There's a heart right here that's a leaf. We've got a heart. One of my favorite ones was inside of an onion. We see rocks all the time. I'm looking for this stuff. That's on page 91. I just realized that we lost our friends on Facebook because your imperfect friend Mel Robbins forgot to plug her computer in. So we lost power. Oh, well. Done is better than perfect. And simply showing up here today and making a little bit of progress instead of waiting for it to get perfect is better than not doing it at all. I now want to prove to you that your mind is super flexible. It is so easily programmed. I mean, I can't even work my television remote, and I can teach you how to change the filter in your brain. And your brain right now is trying its best to change in real time to help you. And I'm going to prove that to you too. And I'm also going to give you an example of just how flexible your mind is, how quickly you can change it. And when you start to realize, holy cow, Mel's right. My mind is easier to program than a television remote. Holy cow, I never even realized this. Just you buckle up and wait, because your mind has been dying for you to learn what you're about to learn. So let's prove to you that your mind is at the ready to change to help you, okay? And I'm going to give you an example that I am sure you have experienced in your life before. And here's the example. Buying a new car. Have you ever had an experience where you either were looking or shopping for a new car, or you were in your family, somebody was, right? Or you became interested in a new car. They're releasing this brand new Bronco, okay? And now you're super interested in it. I am personally in this boat right now. I drive a 9-year-old car, 2014. I love this car, but it's time. It seems like the engine light is on every other week, and every time I take it to get fixed, it's like a $500 bill, and so the thing is paid off, but I'm like, 9 years, maybe it's time. It's getting to the point. I love my car, but maybe I should get a new car. And the truth is, I'm not really a car person.
I don't really give a shit about cars. I just want the car to be comfortable. I want it to work. I want it to be reliable. I want the seats to have heaters in them and the steering wheel to be a heater thingy. I always mix those words up, but that's kind of what I care about. So I don't really think about cars. But you want to know what? The second I started truly considering, maybe it's time to get a new car. Do you know what I saw everywhere? I'm like, holy cow. There are a lot of cars in this tiny town in southern Vermont that I live in. Cars are everywhere. And then as I started to hone in on the new Bronco, does everybody and their mother drive the new Bronco? It's like it's the only car on the road. The 2-door, the 4-door, the soft top, the hard top, the gray one, the red one, the green one. Like they're everywhere. Now here's the thing. A couple months ago, when I was happily driving my 9-year-old car before the brake light has been on consistently for 3 months, a few months ago, I had never seen a Bronco up here in southern Vermont. The only Bronco that I had ever seen was the one that my brother bought a year ago, and he lives in Chicago. But now that I'm interested in Broncos, I see them everywhere. And the second that I got excited about that sort of silvery blue one with the soft top, I couldn't believe it. Jessie, who runs video production for us, her husband drives one. I didn't even notice that they had a Bronco. And now everybody has not only a Bronco, but that color. And I want you to think about a time that this has happened to you, where you started to get interested in something. And then it's like, whammo. Overnight, you see it everywhere. Maybe it was a handbag that you were really interested in, or a certain style of shoe or sneaker. You know, the new Converse ones with the really like inch tall sole on them? All of a sudden, those things were everywhere. Or the Birkenstocks, you know, the Birkenstocks that have the covered toe? It's like those were popular 30 years ago, and now every single college student and 20-something is wearing them. Bangs. The second I wanted curtain bangs, it's like, does everybody have curtain bangs suddenly? Everybody that I now see has curtain bangs. Never even noticed them before. Or you hear a song and you tune in, you're like, oh, I love that song. That song is so cool. And suddenly you hear the song playing in every restaurant. Maybe you haven't shopped for a car, but I bet when you were looking at colleges, it's like, wait a minute. Does everybody have a Michigan sweatshirt? Does everybody's parents go there? Is there a sticker that says University of Michigan on every car? Is it just me, or is that the only college in town? It's the same thing if you want to have a baby. As soon as you are trying to get pregnant, you know what happens? You see kids and pregnant women everywhere. It's like there were only adults on the planet and people that weren't pregnant, and then you want a baby, and boom, it's in your face. Or how about this one? You want to fall in love. What do you see? You see couples in love. It's so annoying. It happens instantaneously. You know what that is? That phenomenon where all of a sudden overnight, you see something everywhere. That is your mind changing in real time. That is a filter in your brain, paying attention to what it thinks you are excited about or interested in. And it's changing what it's showing you in the world around you. And here's the crazy thing about your mind. And this is why this science is so exciting when you understand it. Oh my God. Here's the crazy part. You ready? The Broncos, the bangs, the Birkenstocks, the babies, they were always there. All around you. You just didn't notice them. You want to know why? Because they were not important to you. The fact that you suddenly see those things everywhere, that is an example, and it is proof that your brain wiring is changing in real time, and your mind is trying to help you. Your mind is showing you the Broncos that have always been there. It's like it's highlighting it with a highlighter. Why? Because it became important to you. Why would your mind let you see things sometimes, but not others? Why are you suddenly seeing the covered toe Birkenstocks now, but you didn't see them for the last 5 years? That's a great question. And this brings us to the topic of the filter in your mind. Oh, I'm so excited for you to learn this. So there is a filter in your mind. It is called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system. I'm going to call this the RAS, okay? Here's the visual, because you know your friend Mel loves visuals and metaphors to make this stuff easy. I want you to imagine that there is a hairnet over your brain. This hairnet is a live network of neurons, and it is constantly changing in real time. And this RAS, this network of neuron hairnet that sits over your brain as a filter, it has one job, a very important job, mind you. The RAS has to determine in real time, I'm talking nanoseconds, what information it should allow into your conscious mind for you to see and register, and what information it will block out from your conscious mind. Another way that you can think about the RAS is think about it like a bouncer in your brain. And the reason why you need a bouncer is because life is sort of like a very popular nightclub. Everybody wants to get in. And because there's so much and so many people and so many things showing up at a very popular nightclub trying to jam their way in the door, you need a bouncer who is deciding who gets in and who has to stand in that long line, freezing their ass off in an outfit that is not appropriate for winter, trying to get in, okay? So let's go back to the example of the car and the purses and the babies and the University of Michigan stickers that you suddenly see everywhere. The truth is, all that stuff, all the cars on the road, all the handbags people have, the hairstyles, it was already there. It was already in your subconscious. You, quote, saw it, but the RAS didn't allow you to register it. It shoved it right in that line. It did not let it into your conscious mind. The RAS is the bouncer. It determines what is it that is important enough to Mel Robbins that we are going to let it right in and have her think about it. Holy shit, there's another Bronco. I'm not getting the blue-gray color now because that's like the third one I've seen today. In fact, I don't even know that if I want a Bronco anymore. And I don't think I want bangs anymore either because it looks like every single person that I meet has bangs. This is how the bouncer in your mind works. It literally has a guest list, and you're the one that writes the guest list out. What is on the guest list of your mind? Anything that is important to you. Okay? All the other yahoos that are not on the list, all the other colleges that are on stickers on every other card, Dartmouth, Harvard, Brown, University of Wittenberg, not even noticing those. Why? Because you're thinking about University of Michigan. So all those other college stickers, they're waiting in line. They're not getting in. That bouncer won't let them in. But boom, there's a University of Michigan. Short skirt. Come on, you're going in. That's how it works. And so this is super, super important. And it's really exciting. Okay? It's really exciting because when you understand that there's this electric hairnet on your brain called the RAS that works like a bouncer at a popular nightclub, we can tell that bouncer what you want, who you want to let in. It's that simple. And there's another important reason for the RAS and why you need a bouncer, okay? And the reason is information overload. It's just impossible for the human brain to consciously process all the data that is coming in through all five senses. If you just take a second and look around, and if you're driving a car, please do not take your eyes off the road. But look around wherever you are right now. There is so much stuff all around you, whether it's 50 license plates on the road ahead, every single make and model of the car, road signs as you're passing, the speedometer, the music input coming in, feeling your rear end on the seat, the air blowing out of the vents, all that happening in a car. The perfume somebody's wearing, all that stuff is information coming into your brain. If you're sitting at a home office or you're sitting at home, think about all the books. I'm looking up at our production calendar. There's all these bazillion Post-it notes, and I've got Jesse standing right there, and I've got 6 chairs and my purse, and there's a kitchen towel that I just noticed on the floor of our office, just laying there. I must have carried it up, just a dish towel laying there in the office. Now I'm focused on it because I put my attention on it. But your RAS cannot allow you to consciously process absolutely everything you can hear, smell, feel, taste. What's the other one? Smell, taste, touch. Can't do it. Your head would explode. And so your RAS, this bouncer with the list of what's important to you, it has to decide every nanosecond of every day what it's going to let in and what it's going to block out. And so this is important because the way that it programs what comes into your conscious mind is based on what it thinks is important to you. That's it. What it thinks is important to you. And here is where the life-changing opportunity is for you and me and everybody that you know. When you get intentional about purposefully telling this bouncer what you want to see, whether it's Broncos or it's a certain handbag, or heck, now it's the University of Colorado. That bouncer will change up the list. The RAS reprograms itself in real time. It changes the filter. This is a live network in your brain. It changes in real time to help you see those things that are important to you. That's what you're experiencing when you suddenly see the car that you're interested in all over the road. And today, you're going to learn how to use that scientific neurological fact to your advantage, because you're going to give yourself a mindset reset. So let me recap what we've learned so far, because it's a lot. Number one, your mindset is like a pair of sunglasses. It filters the way you see yourself, the world, your future, absolutely everything. Your mindset triggers whether or not you take action or you don't take action at all. The second thing that you've learned is that when you change the lens through which you view the world from something pessimistic and darker to a worldview that is more rosy and action-oriented, it's going to lead to a happier and more action-oriented life. And this is according to both research and common sense. Third, you've now learned that there is this filter in your brain, this super cool thing called the reticular activating system. It changes in real time. It is flexible. It is alive. It is a network of neuron acting like a bouncer, keeping people out of your mind, letting some things in. And right now, it's only acting based on what it thinks is important to you. And fourth, you have learned that when you get serious and intentional about what you want to see, whether it's babies or Broncos or it's bangs, this filter in your brain will change in real time to help you achieve it. Period. Full stop. This is science. Now, we're going to take a second and hear a quick word from our sponsors. But when you come back to me, I'm going to explain how your mindset is connected to that filter in your brain. And I have a super simple, really cool little tool that you're going to start using today to put this science around your filter to work. And your brain, it is going to start working for you. We'll be right back. Whew. Okay. So let me just set the table again. I like to do that because when I listen to podcasts and I hear all the ads, I completely forget what we've talked about by the time I get back to the show. So we've been talking about your mindset. And we've also started to scratch the surface at this thing called the reticular activating system. This is that live filter in your brain that is flexible and capable of changing in a nanosecond to help you. So now I want to go a layer deeper, and I want to start to apply this flexibility in your filter to changing your mindset. So let's start with this question from a listener named Peter.
Hey, this is Peter from Washington. I was just wondering, how do I get past my doubts and maintain a positive mindset? Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Peter. So I want to focus on one aspect of your question, and that is where you said getting past your doubts. This is where the science gets really interesting because your belief about yourself is a mindset. I'm going to say that again. Your belief about yourself filters how you see the world. And I'm going to give you an example. You use the word, Peter, self-doubt. If you have a lot of self-doubt, you question yourself, you criticize yourself, you hold yourself back, What color do you think the lenses on your sunglasses are? I'm not trying to be silly here. I'm trying to make this intellectual topic very tangible and understandable. If you have a lot of self-doubt, what is the color of the lenses on the sunglasses? Because this is where the filter in your brain starts to become programmed by your mindset. Now, I said earlier that your filter focuses on showing you what it thinks is important to you. How does it know what's important to you? I'll tell you. I said earlier that the RAS, that filter, its sole job is showing you what it thinks is important to you. So it begs the question, right, Peter? If you haven't been intentional, at least you didn't think you were, about telling the filter what to show you, how the hell does it know what to show you? Well, it shows you whatever you spend your time, energy, thoughts, and attention focused on. So, going back to your question about self-doubt, if you doubt yourself, right, you put a lot of energy into doubting yourself. It's not just one thought. You probably do it all day long. Your thoughts are critical, you hesitate, you don't speak up, you hold yourself back. All of that is energy that makes your RAS think that doubting yourself is important. If you doubt yourself and you go into work, you know what happens to you at work? You don't see the 15 things that you do right. You know what you obsess over? The one thing you've done wrong. That one email that you sent that was a screw up, that one customer that you didn't quite do a good job with, the one thing you've done wrong is all that you can focus on. Well, when you start to doubt yourself, this is where the RAS starts to make it worse. Because your RAS sees you spending so much energy and mental fuel in criticizing, doubting, and hesitating. And so your RAS thinks, oh my gosh, ding, 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 Peter thinks it's important for him to see what's wrong. And so your RAS blocks the 15 things that you did right. You know what you did today, Peter? You sent 32 emails. Great job. You didn't see it, though. You did a great job with those 5 customers. You're not giving yourself credit, though. You were amazing in that meeting earlier. Not getting credit for that either. But the one email, that bouncer's like, come to the front of the line. I'll take the email that is negative with the short skirt, and that email is getting in. Just like a dark pair of sunglasses shades everything. When you doubt yourself, it shades your mindset toward self-doubt. And then your brain gets involved. When the email from your boss comes in, hey, can you stop by my office before you leave today? How do you think Peter's RAS interprets that email? If he doubts himself? I'll tell you how. When he reads, can you stop by my office before you leave today? His RAS goes, oh shit. Because you've trained it to look for things that aren't right. By putting so much time and energy into focusing on your self-doubt, you are also training the filter in your brain to filter out everything that's going right and to focus only on the one thing that's going wrong, thereby magnifying the self-doubt. Let's go back to an earlier example. Remember that pessimistic friend sitting on the beach that's bitching that lunch hasn't come? Or that pessimistic relative that is bitching about the family member that's halfway across the tent? It's all they see. They can't even see the beautiful water or the happy couple or anything else good. Why? Because their pessimism is what has programmed their reticular activating system. This is how mindset and the filter in your brain get linked. They become fused together. All you see is the reasons you should doubt yourself. It's how you feel. So first it starts with the mindset. You're thinking negative thoughts, and then your filter gets involved. And next thing you know, you're just seeing more and more and more and more reasons to doubt yourself. And here's something that you may be thinking right now. Why is my brain doing this to me? Why is my brain against me? Your brain is not working against you. It's just responding to where your mindset and all your energy is going. That's it. It follows your energy and your focus. And this is the the good news, okay? If you get intentional about searching for reasons to feel proud, or for the small wins, the 15, 32 emails that you sent, the good things that you did, the places where you're showing up, your mind will spin like a top. And all of a sudden, just like you saw Broncos and babies and Birkenstocks, instead of seeing the one thing that you did wrong, you will see the 15 things that you did right. This is not a joke. It's hard science. This also, by the way, ties right back into the endless science about the power of a gratitude practice. A gratitude practice is a way to train your mind. A gratitude practice is teaching the RAS that being grateful and taking times to savor beautiful moments and focusing on things that you're really proud of and you appreciate, that's important to you, so you see more of it. That's how this all works, hand in hand. And I want to give you one more example, okay? Because I think this is challenging at times to see in ourselves because we're so used to seeing the world through a certain lens that we don't even realize we're wearing sunglasses. But it is kind of easy to spot in other people. So here's one more example about how your own beliefs and mindset about yourself or a situation that you're in can become paralyzing because the filter in your brain keeps the mindset in place, okay? So think about somebody that you love who's single and they are desperate to meet the right person. And the longer they stay single, the more and more insecure they get by the day. And when you see them, you see a person who is smart, who's awesome, who's hilarious, who's loyal, who's sexy, who's amazing, who would be the most incredible person to be in a relationship with. But I want you to just imagine that the color of the lens on your glasses, when you look through your belief about them, it's completely different than the color of the lens on their glasses. When day in and day out, all this person can think is, why can't I find somebody? I'll never find somebody. Why does everybody else have somebody? I see all my friends getting approached at the bars. I see my friends getting asked out. Why am I not getting asked out? What you've now learned about the mindset and belief about yourself and the way your filter responds in real time is the more energy you put into a negative narrative like this, it's never going to work out for me. Nobody's ever going to love me. I am unlovable. Everybody else has a date. I'm never going to have a date. The more that mindset and that belief becomes a self-fulfilling situation. Why? Because you're putting so much energy into the negative that the filter in your brain is now going to filter the world in a way to reinforce the negative story. When you walk into a bar, all you're going to see are all the couples. You're not even going to focus on all the other people that are single that you should walk up and talk to. That's the bouncer in your brain aligning with where your energy is. This also explains why you as the friend see the opposite. And you can tell the person over and over and over again, you need to calm down. You're amazing. You are going to find an amazing person. It's not that you're not going to meet somebody. You just haven't met the right person yet. It's the exact same situation. But because both of you have different mindsets and beliefs about the situation, you see it through a different lens. And you both believe, by the way, that your belief is the truth. And this simple example highlights how your mindset and how you view the world impacts the filter in your brain. Because the more that this carries on for your friend, the less your friend is going to put themselves out there. Because they're slowly convincing themselves that this is never going to happen, so why bother? And the more that you see them pulling back, the more that your belief is going to become, but you need to, but you're the one holding your back. See, the filter in your brain, it's either going to make the situation worse or, and this is what I want to teach you, it can make it better. But that depends on your ability to get serious about programming it. Because wouldn't you love it if your friend who wanted to meet somebody would still have a positive mindset or a rosy outlook so that they don't just latch on to some loser? Because you would probably do anything to make sure that this friend of yours, this person that you love, would maintain a positive mindset and a rosy outlook. Why do you want them to maintain that? I'll tell you why. because your mindset dictates your actions. And if you can stay positive, if you can stay optimistic, if you can keep saying to yourself, there is nothing wrong with me. I just haven't met the right person yet. But one of these days, the right person will walk in. And in the meantime, I'm just going to keep being me. If they can get intentional about creating that mindset, a number of things are going to happen. They're not going to become insecure. They're not going to start acting all weird around people. And they are not going to latch on to some loser just because they're starting to convince themselves that they're desperate and this is their only option. Because we both know that's not true. There's 8 billion people in the world. And right now, the right one has not walked into your life, but they will, if you can maintain a positive attitude. And the secret is training the RAS and catching your negative mindset and swapping it out for a more positive one. Because as you're learning, the thoughts that you think dictate the world that you see, the way that you feel, and the actions that you take. Noticing this, that you have a mindset that's holding you back, that's the first step. Second, asking yourself if it's serving you, that's the second step. And the third step, you just got to get serious about making your mind work for you, because you can. If you're breathing, you can change this. Even if your default is negative and pessimistic, you can teach yourself to be optimistic. And I'm going to give you one more example. If you are somebody that loves social media, if you've ever seen the Instagram Explore page or the TikTok Discover page, you'll notice that it changes in real time because those pages are filters and they respond to what it thinks is important to you. So if you click on a puppy, all of a sudden, that Discover page, it's going to be all puppy videos. I went through this phase where I was really into like long nails, and suddenly that Discover page went from puppies to long nails. And it doesn't matter if you accidentally click on Beyonce videos or on some other thing, wedding videos. The algorithm is going to think that that's what you want to see. So suddenly that's all that you see. And it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain's the same way. Once you focus on something, your brain starts showing you more. My daughter had this huge breakthrough about how she felt about herself based on social media and on her brain. Because she realized, oh my God, my Explore page, it's all fitness models. And it's fitness models that are in photos of waist trainers and wearing body makeup and taking these crazy filtered photos in these contorted positions to make themselves look like they have a waist that's 2 inches small. I mean, of course she felt like shit about her body. Why? Because she was seeing it over and over and over again. And so her brain started thinking, oh, well, this must matter to you. And then the social media pages start aggregating it and showing you more and more and more. And so as that all starts to happen, you start to believe that everybody on the planet is the size of your pinky finger, which then, of course, invalidates the fact that you have this big, beautiful, amazing, strong body and you look fabulous. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't match all this crap that's being shown in your face. This is how your brain works too. And you got to get on top of this. It is a filter that blocks out 99% of the world and lets in about, 0.000000001%. And it is always changing. There are only 4 things, Tom, that get through the hairnet on your head. The sound of your name, and you've experienced this because you've been walking through a crowd and you're like, did somebody say my name? Right? The
Cocktail party effect.
Cocktail party effect.
Weird.
The second thing that gets through is any sort of threat. So if you hear a loud noise and you go like this, there are lots of noises you didn't hear, but the loud one you kind of duck because it's a threat. The third thing is when your partner is interested in sex with either you or someone else. That's why you're like, why are you checking that person out, right? You know, because the brain is letting that information in. The fourth thing, and this is where the transformation begins. Your brain will let in anything that it believes is important to you. The Zeigarnik effect is the documented fact that when something is important to you, and I'll explain what that means, your brain opens up a checklist in your mind. And now your brain, once it puts this item on your checklist, it will store the checklist in your subconscious. It's encoded in your RAS. And your mind is now on the alert to spot things related to it. The way that you make yourself feel like something is important is your nervous system goes on alert while you're thinking about it. You're either super excited about something, oh, this is super important, or this is the trauma effect. You go on alert and you have something really bad happen, which is why things continue to bring it up throughout the rest of your life. So when you understand that if something's important to you, your filter will change in real time how you see the fucking world. You now know how to change your brain to work for you. And looking for hearts is the way I'm going to prove to you that this happens. I want to give you one other example because everybody's experienced this. If you've ever gone shopping for a new car or you've dreamt about having a new car, what happens immediately when you get excited about that new car is your mind goes, Zygon effect. Oops, okay, Tom wants the new Bronco. That's cool. So what do you see now? You see Broncos everywhere. Now, they were always there, but your mind is letting them in because the Zygon effect is now made it on a checklist. It's changed the RAS. And so I am going to prove to you that it is unbelievably cool that you can change the way that you view the world by looking for heart-shaped objects. So tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to start your day by high-fiving yourself in the mirror. I want you to examine what the resistance about, because you're going to start to then be able to unpack what's holding you back. Then you're going to go out in the world and just tell your mind, I want to see a heart today. Look for a rock, look for a leaf, look in your latte. Is there a little shape there? Is there an oil stain on the floor? And when you see one, stop and go, shit, there's a scavenger hunt. I never would have seen that before. Thank you, brain. Now your brain's like, woo, more hearts. You will start to see hearts everywhere. And when you can start to train your brain and realize, whoa, this is actually a cool thing. This is high-fiving your mind. When you can see hearts, you can now go, wait a minute. If I can change what I see based on what I tell it, maybe if I got serious about not constantly saying I'm a failure, I wouldn't attach that or see it everywhere. Maybe if I got serious about saying I can figure anything out, this is happening for a reason, instead of I'm fucked, you say, okay, I'm going to learn something with this. It changes the way your brain filters everything. And this is such an important piece to the book because we've all had the experience where you love somebody deeply and you see all their incredible attributes and all they see is failure, or all they see is the weight that they can't lose. And it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what kind of pep talk or support you give them. Your loved one still only sees what they hate about themselves. Blame the filter in your brain. You have been bitching about your appearance or the weight on your scale, the fact that you're a failure for so long, your brain believes it's important to you to see reasons why this is true. And one of the things I got to say about this and everything in the book is the tools are simple, Tom, but it's super important to say, just because you change and start celebrating yourself, it's not going to make the weight disappear suddenly. It doesn't change the number on the scale overnight. What it changes is you. And that changes your ability to deal with the problems and the issues you want to change in your life.
I have some really counterintuitive ideas, bold stances on things, which I found incredibly interesting. One of them is jealousy. And that not to just reject that stuff offhand, but that there's actually information carried in those strong emotions.
Jealousy is one of the most powerful directional signals on the planet. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed that video, by God, please subscribe because I don't want you to miss a thing. Thank you so much for being here. We've got so much amazing stuff coming. Thank you so much for sending this stuff to your friends and your family. I love you. We create these videos for you. So make sure you subscribe. Mwah.